Welcome to the Prophecy Club. Our topic today is the Israel-Iran War, Ehud Olmert, and military tribunals. Now, by now you already know this, that there has been a ceasefire between Israel and Iran. But you also already know that they have both broken the ceasefire, and Trump is not happy with them. So I don't have to cover any of that. You already understand all that. But here's the important part. Now, I don't like these folks that say, I told you so. See there, na boo boo, I told you. But in this case, it's important that you know that, once again, one of the prophecies that we've been standing on, well, for 23 years, has proven to be correct again. Okay, so here it is. 2002, Leslie had a dream. We call it Arafat in the hospital. She was told that Arafat would die in the hospital, which, of course, in 2002, he wasn't even allowed outside of his compound. So this very big and risky prophecy, nevertheless, I put it out anyway. He was told, or she was told, that Arafat would go into the hospital. 2 years later, it happened. Now, here's the point. Point number two, she was told that Israel will give the Palestinians a state. And it's going to be a temporary arrangement to allow the Israelis time to strengthen the military and to make the Jews willing to fight for the land. Now, what I've been saying is, based upon this, while there may be some exchanges, you recall I've been saying this now for a couple of weeks, okay? There may be some exchanges between Israel and Iran. There were. America might even get involved. It did. But here's the point. I said it's not going to lead to the big one. Why? Because if you look on over here, number 6 says Israel and America will go against most of the Arab world. So I said that this is not the big one. This is not the big war in the Middle East where Israel and America goes against most of the Arab world. Not until there's a Palestinian state, and then based upon this one, not until there is also oil found in Israel. The oil's making the Jews willing to fight for their land and giving them the money to build their military. So I've been saying this is not going to be the big one. Not Israel. And then if you look at this one, number 5 is Israel attacked, America sends troops. So that doesn't happen until there's, both of them say, until there's a Palestinian state. Now, something else I got to point out here. We do not know what Omer is. She only heard it. She did not see it spelled. Now, we have been guessing since 2006, or actually 2002, that it might be the counting of the Omer, which is the 49 days between first fruits and Passover, or it might also be Omer, Olmert. Now, the reason I say that is because I remember this very specifically. Let me back up. Okay, so on April the 15th, 2002, when Leslie woke up and she had this dream, she called me. She said, I had a dream. You're probably going to want to record this. And so I got the recorder and we recorded it. And I remember specifically when she said, no, excuse me, it wasn't this one because she said Omer. This is one with Omer in it. She said, Omer ushers in Palestinian State. And when she said that, I thought it was talking about Ehud Olmert, because like the day before, he had just been appointed temporary prime minister of Israel, Ehud Olmert, and you pronounce his name Omer. The problem is she doesn't know what Omer is, and that's a big point for me to bring to you today. We don't know if it's the counting of the Omer, which ended this year in June 1, but it also could be Ehud Olmert, and that's going to be a major thing that I talk about today. So I looked up, I just typed in News Israel Olmert, Olmert, and I found a couple of important articles. It says, former Israeli Prime Minister Omer, by the way, that's how you pronounce it. The T is silent and the L is silent. So it's pronounced, and I've heard it pronounced that way by Israelis or Jews. Former Israeli Prime Minister Omer, we need not just a truce, but an end to the war. He is very, very, very much against Netanyahu. He is very much against Israel continuing the war. He is very, very much for the Palestinians, and his primarily thing he's been saying for many years now is that they should give the Palestinians a state. So that makes perfect sense that Omer ushers in Palestinian state. That newspaper headline may, here, listen, it's very important. It may not be the counting of the Omer. In other words, it may not be one of the 49 days between first fruits and Pentecost. It may be this guy. So let's look at it. He says there is no alternative but the path of two states, independent, free, and at peace. And for Gaza, the only viable solution is an immediate end to the war and safe return of the hostages, he affirms. I've accused the current Israeli government of committing crimes in Gaza. He's very much against what Israel's doing. But I don't have all the analytical elements to affirm that the conduct of the war in Gaza and these crimes fall within the legal category of war crimes. However, I have no doubt that at this stage now and not earlier, there is no real intention from the Netanyahu government to rescue the hostages. That's a little shocking. The only likely outcomes of this war will be more deaths of Israeli soldiers, the continued captivity of the hostages held by Hamas, and the killing of many innocent Palestinian civilians. In these terms, and under these circumstances, the war is objectively a crime. So, would he like to see a Palestinian state? Yes, he would. And could it be that they name it Omer, ushers in Palestinian state? Because this guy is very, very, very much for it. Here's another article. This is June 6th, just recently. Why Ehud Olmert thinks his country is committing war crimes. Last week, Ehud Olmert, a former prime minister of Israel, publicly denounced his successor, Benjamin Netanyahu, and the war Netanyahu has been waging in Gaza. In a piece for Haaretz titled Enough is Enough, Israel is committing war crimes. Omer referred to the current government as a criminal gang. Led by Netanyahu, he wrote, what we are doing in Gaza now is a war of devastation. Indiscriminate, limitless, cruel, and criminal killing of civilians. We are not doing this due to loss of control in any specific sector, not due to some disproportionate outburst of some soldiers in some unit. Rather, it's the result of government policy, knowingly, evilly, maliciously, irresponsibly dedicated. Yes, Israel is committing war crimes. Now, would he come out with pushing for a Palestinian state? You better know he would. So, we might not have to wait till the 49 days of the counting of Omer next year. In other words, here's my point. Okay, so right now, Israel has put down Hamas. Israel has put down Syria, put down the Houthis down in Yemen, and now put down Iran. So this is a very, very big time when there could be peace for Israel. And it may be that Israel will say, look, we've had enough. We really, okay, our city just got blown up here, okay, the last couple of weeks. This is not fun. It may be that what we really need is really a peace agreement. And it may be that along comes Trump, says, the big peacemaker that's trying to get the Nobel Peace Prize, and in my opinion, he should get it. Could it be that we're about to see the headline, Omer ushers in Palestinian state? Yes. Okay, now let's back up. Let's assume for just a moment that is about to happen. Let's assume this first newspaper headline appears, and it could appear here in the next few weeks to few months, okay? Omer ushers in Palestinian state. If Trump twists the arm of Israel and makes Israel give the Palestinians a state, and my understanding is most people in Israel absolutely positively do not want a Palestinian state given. That means that probably just like Trump twisted the arm of Putin and Zelensky for the Russia-Ukraine war to end, twisted the arm of Netanyahu, and now he's twisting the arm of the Ayatollah for that war to end. Apparently, this guy really does rule the world. So if, that's a very, very big if Trump forces Israel to give the Palestinians a state, and that may very well happen. I mean, it could happen tomorrow. Okay, we don't know. It could very well happen. This was told Leslie back in 2006. Think about it. That's 19 years ago. Here it is. We could see that news. Okay, now if that newspaper headline appears in the next few weeks, how big is that? Well, if Trump makes Israel do it, my guess is that's exactly what he's going to do. Then the next headline kicks in. Now, we don't know for certain what the catastrophe hits America. We don't know what that catastrophe is, but my guess is, since we've got 12 people, some dreams, some visions, some angel visits, some audible voices, 12 people that say that if America splits Israel, God will split America. So it makes perfect sense that that catastrophe is probably an earthquake. And that earthquake is probably the Great Lakes opening up all the way down to the Gulf of Mexico. Now, I don't want to think that that's coming, but when you got 12 people seeing the same thing, dreams, visions, angel visions, audible voices, you can't throw it away. So it could very well be in the next few days, the next few weeks, we see the headline, Omer ushers in Palestinian State. It could be this guy here brings in I hope you're listening, he brings in the Palestinian State. All of a sudden, the first headline, boom. Remember what the Lord told me June 27th of 2008. When those prophecies I gave your wife begin to come to pass, people from all directions will begin to turn and listen to your ministry. It may be that it's about to happen. Okay, so this guy forces a Palestinian state. The headline comes out instead of O-M-E-R, it's O-L-M-E-R-T, but it's pronounced the same as she heard. Omer ushers in Palestinian state. A few days later, catastrophe hits America, big earthquake. As a result, America is on her knees and it's not praying. In other words, a giant earthquake that splits our nation would kill millions of Americans. It would be by far the greatest catastrophe that has ever hit this nation. Then we'd be crying for all the nations to come and help America. But our good buddy Israel refuses help to America. Why? Because we just forced them to give away half their land. They don't like us. They're mad at us. Then oil is discovered. Let's back up to that one. Someplace in there, massive amounts of oil is discovered. I think I know who is going to discover that. The oil makes the Jews willing to fight for their land. It also gives them the money. So probably, matter of fact, I was just talking to one of my board members the other day, one of the prophetic oil board members. And we were talking, if I had the money right now, boom, right now, I was putting my account right now to go drill that well in Israel. We were just calculating. It would take us 2 years before the oil was actually flowing, unless that dream that I had happened exactly as it happened. Now, in all my life, I've never had a dream come true. I was thinking about that last night. Not once have I ever had a dream come true. But I believe the dreams have directed me. They don't come to pass exactly, but I believe they do direct me. Now, what if that dream comes true? Because what I saw is I jumped upon a big block of concrete where an abandoned oil well was. I pointed down into the ground, and I said, there's oil coming out of that ground. About that time, it started shaking really deep, and about 8 to 12 previously drilled dry holes got oil. All of a sudden, whoosh, and then it fell back to the earth, meaning all of a sudden, massive amounts of high-pressure oil flow into previously drilled wells. And then, of course, I went down to get the land so that we have control of it. All of a sudden, Israel could have massive amounts of oil just that quick. So what I'm trying to say here today is we can't say this is not happening soon. I can't promise you that. I can promise you that maybe, maybe, maybe it's coming real soon. Okay, so Ehud Olmert, forces the Palestinian State. Israel, Trump twists their arm. A big earthquake hits. One of America's greatest times of need. Israel refuses to America. Then it's got to stop there, because then we got to have the oil discovered in Israel. That's going to take. Look, even if the oil was boom, just like right now, all of a sudden, if Israel had massive amounts of oil right now, how long does it take to build up a military? I'm going to say at least a couple of years. Even with America's help, a couple of years. So, I mean, I want Jesus to come back pretty soon too, but what I'm trying to say is, it doesn't sound like it's as soon as we're thinking. So it could be a minimum of 2 years, probably closer to 4 years, before a lot of bad stuff, or before, I say this, before it'll start with an internal revolution. So this would put the internal revolution off, I'm going to say, at least 2 years, maybe 3 or 4, and that'd be fine by me. Now, let's go on to the next topic. All right. The point I have to make is the prophecy given to Leslie was correct, that Israel and America are not about to go against most of the Arab world, countries until oil is discovered. It gives the money to both Israel to want to protect their land and to build up their military. Then, not until then, is Israel and America go against most of the rest of the Arab world. This is very, very important. Now let's go on to the next thing. Now, I think this is the first time I've actually covered this. But what happened was, one of our congregation members wanted me to invite this pastor in from Nigeria to speak and minister. We were doing the Bible study. I said, well, bring him on over. Let me meet him. So she had mentioned that he gives personal prophecy. So, let's try the Spirit. Give me a prophecy. And I was shocked, because this part of the prophecy, matter of fact, the whole prophecy was right on, but this part of the prophecy deals with, I guess it kind of affects you. 2007 was a turning point in your life, he said. For then I started moving in my own way. I'm going to reveal an open vision to you concerning the message of the end time. There is a lock that I put over a word in the book of Revelation that I'm going to open to you, and that word was first fruits. He did not know I had already written that in a book. It will turn many books written on the end time message into obsolete books. For a new light is being shown upon your heart as a chosen vessel of mine to put the puzzles together. That's this book. So I seldom talk about this, but may I recommend this book? Why? Because what basically it says is that this is linking the feasts of Revelation to the the feast of Leviticus 23 to the prophecies of Revelation. And one of the other visions showed me that I need to write it in a book, because I'm one that tends to want to get up and talk it through and explain it in videos. A lot easier than writing a book. But what the vision showed me is that I need to put it in a book, because some things cannot be understood just audio and video. Sometimes it's got to be in a book. So I wrote this book, and I might add, it sold quite well. As a matter of fact, my email's all over this, and as you see, it's all over the program. And I'm yet to receive one email saying, boy, you got a hole in your head. You're out of your rocker. You aren't even close. Instead, what everybody says is, I think you found it. See, because I was shown that first fruits in Leviticus 23:10 and Revelation 14:4, that word first fruits is a secret door. It's a link that once you have that in place, then all of the other prophecies of Revelation can then be put into the correct chronological order. And that's this book. Now, get it at Prophecy Club, 1 for $20, but don't do that. Instead, we offer them in shrink wrap. Here, got right here. We offer them in shrink wrap sets of 5, like this, okay? In the back, it has this chart you see behind me. This chart, this is the 7 years all laid out. This chart is the last 6 months, all laid out so you can understand it, so you can put it together in your mind. Meaning, if you are a prophecy student, if you want to understand the last days, then this is not just an assignment, it's a requirement. You got to get this book. This book, step by step, by step by step, and what people say is, nobody's got this before. No one is saying this. So I'd recommend you get this book. 1 for $20, 5 of them shrink wrap set for $5 for $35, or you can get 10 for $60 at prophecyclub.com. All right, now, enough of that. Oh, well, I guess I should say this. The very, very best deal is each one of these are shrink wrap sets of either 5 or 10. You can get all 5 shrink wrap sets, total 40 books, valued at $800 for a gift of $100. That's if you want to have extra books to give away. Make great Christmas presents, birthday presents, and you might save a soul by getting this to them. Okay, let's go on to the next one. Also, my call is to raise up an army of end-time prophecy teachers working sevenfold miracles. So I put these charts, these are the updated charts. These are actually 2-foot by 3-foot charts, big charts, designed for you to stick up on the wall to teach Bible prophecy. In the Watchman's package, you get 2, one of each kind, 2 charts. Then you also get 5 copies of my book, a shrink wrap set like this. You also get 5 DVDs of me teaching through the book of Revelation. You get my handwritten book, which I keep right here, because I have to go through it all the time. Here you go. This is my handwritten book where I wrote out the book of Revelation, and I still go through it today because I forget. I got to go back and refresh. And you also, all of this, value of $355 for a gift of $200. Very, very, very good deal. So I'd recommend you go to prophecyclub.com and get that. All right, now, I don't think I'm going to be able to make it to the end of my next point, but I'm going to try. Okay. So let me talk to you about the Elijah plan. This is the plan to take back America, and it started in 1963. After JFK was assassinated, the military intelligence said we've had enough of this. This secret cabal that think they own and rule the world can just kill people, kill presidents, kill our people at will. We got to come up with a plan. So they reportedly cooked up a plan to begin to remove this evil from America in specific and also from the rest of the world. So the plan was to take back America from the top down, not a revolution up, but get the presidency. They went to Donald Trump, asked him if he'd do it. He'd said, well, do I report to you or do you report to me? And they said, oh, no, we'll report to you. And he said, all right, then I'll do it. So that's what got President Trump involved in this. Then, in November 2017, Sessions hired Utah Inspector General John Huber, and he recruited 470 dogged investigators. Normally, at any one time, there's between 125 to 350 sealed indictments at any one time across the 50 United States. A sealed indictment is a pending arrest warrant sealed from the public. It is usually sealed pending other co-conspirators rounding up, getting their indictments, getting their investigations done too. These 470 dogged investigators began filing indictments, but keeping them sealed. I heard about it when there was 4,000 indictments. So I'm thinking 125, 350 indictments. There's got 4,000. I'm thinking like you would. Got to be soon. Got to be real soon. Okay, 4,000 people arrested. That's a bunch. But then what happened? Soon there was 10,000. No arrest. 20,000. I'm thinking, what's going on? Soon the indictments reached 30, 40, 50,000, 61,000. Oh, but there's more. So then perhaps you recall this. During the Kavanaugh hearings, Senator Lindsey Graham had a 10-minute segment in which he asked Judge Kavanaugh a series of over 10 questions, specifically asking him the effect if they had the authority to arrest U.S. citizens and try them in military tribunals. I was shocked when I saw it. I went back and downloaded it, and I wrote down the questions. This line of questioning was to triple check the legality to arrest, detain, try, and sentence U.S. citizens under military justice. Not an accident. My point being, they plan to arrest, try, and sentence over 500,000 under military justice. Here are the 10 questions Lindsay asked Kavanaugh. When somebody says, post 9/11, that we've been at war and it's called the war on terrorism, do you generally agree with that concept? Yes. All of the answers were yes, Senator. Is there a body of law called the law of armed conflict? Yes, Senator. Is there a body of law also called basic criminal law? Yes, Senator. Are there differences between those two bodies of law? Yes. From an American citizen's point of view, do your constitutional rights follow you? Yes. If you're in Paris, does the Fourth Amendment protect you as an American from your own government? Apparently the answer was yes. If you're in Afghanistan, do your constitutional rights protect you against your own government? Yes. Isn't there a long set of law that goes back to Eisenstein's traitor that American citizens who collaborate with the enemy are considered enemy combatants? Yes, Senator. There is a Supreme Court decision that said American citizens who collaborated with Nazi saboteurs were tried by the military. Is that correct? Yes, Senator. What's the name of that case? Do you recall? That reared from the concept you could hold one of our enemy as an enemy combatant, even if they were engaged in terrorist activity in Afghanistan. Are you familiar with the case? Do you understand the differences? Yes, 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 yes. Now, here's my point. I just looked it up. 484,000 sealed indictments. But that was several months ago. Now it's up to 499,000. And here's the interesting part. This was probably about a month ago, and I just looked it up, and the number of sealed indictments has not gone up in the last month. Now, does that mean that they're done filing the sealed indictments? All right, now, you can go up there and it'll tell you all about it. Here's the shocking part. I was shocked when June 14th, 2025 rolled around and everything was in place. 1,800 cities protesting no king. Trump used the word insurrectionist orally and written on truthsocial.com. Tanks were in Washington, D.C. National Guard was deployed. Everything was in place to sign the Insurrection Act of 1807, putting the military in action against U.S. citizens, which would allow for the military arrests and trials and military courts of 500,000 bad people, but nothing happened. Is he waiting on the big, beautiful bill to pass and then to do it? Maybe. Maybe. I don't know. I see that everything's set. I just don't know when it's going to come.